Hey, Hickok 45 here. As promised, I want to try to do a knife video every now and then because I do have a few knives and I like knives. This particular knife happens to be made by Jimmy Lyle. You may have heard that name. This is a really handy little, I guess, hunting knife. I think it was called the Hunter. I believe that was the name of the knife. He made these for years and years and years, and they passed away, I guess, 15 years ago or so, maybe even longer. But I had this knife made in 1976, and he wrote on it, he engraved it, and has my name on there, so I have it taped over. But handcrafted for me by Jimmy Lyle, as it says. And let me lay it down here. It has his name on it. I think since he passed away, they started putting some sort of insignia after the Lyle name, I don't know, a star, asterisk, or something to indicate that he's no longer with us, or that the knife was made after he passed away. This one was made while he was with us. In fact, I spoke with him when I called. This is back in the pre-internet days, of course, and it was probably 75 when I actually ordered it. It was, I remember it being a big deal back then for me because it was over $100, and I had not paid that kind of money for a knife before. And you had to call, and of course the literature was, I think, in black and white that I recall, and I picked out the one I wanted. I had wanted for several years an actual handmade, hand-forged knife, handmade by one of these well-known, excellent knife smiths. And so I decided to do it. I ordered it. I think I had to send him $25 on it to get started, and then he called or dropped me a postcard that it was about ready to be made. It may have been 6 months or longer, the waiting period. I remember it was very long time. And then I sent him the rest of the money, and then they shipped the knife. I remember one summer when the UPS man dropped it off. I was out painting on the house or something, and it was a happy day that summer of 1976, the bicentennial year. So anyway, as you notice, I have not sharpened this knife. It is, I think, because it was such a special knife made by Jimmy Lyle, and where I don't hunt, I didn't really have a lot of use for skinning animals or anything like that with it, so I just didn't sharpen it for a good while. Wasn't sure whether I would do that or not. And as years went by, and I just kept it in the safe or in the bank box, I decided I probably would not sharpen it because it grew in value more and more. And then after he passed away, I guess it has grown even more in value. To me, I don't think as much about the monetary value of it as I do just the fact that Jimmy Lyle made it, and I've had it that long, since 1976. Just a wonderful size knife. It just perfect for just general cutting, or as a hunting knife, whatever you might want to use it for. And again, I have come close to going ahead and using it and sharpening it, but I just haven't. I'm kind of glad I haven't. It's a really special piece, not because it's not just because it's a Jimmy Lyle knife, but because as I say, I bought it a long time ago, and that was a lot of money. That was about like spending $1,000 on a knife to me. It was a ton of money. 110 bucks, I think, or 125 was the total price at the time. But this is a special knife, and I thought maybe you'd enjoy seeing it. Some of you folks that really study knives and are knife collectors, probably especially, can appreciate the knife and would maybe certainly know more about it than even I do. That Lyle name is really worth something, and I don't mean just in money. It's neat having a knife that he made. Beautiful handle, the stag and everything. Just a well-made piece. You see variations of this type of knife, of course, made by a lot of knife smiths because it's such a popular size, very practical little deal. And of course, the sheath is really handy. I think I don't have it now. It's got the date there, 1976. It's 5.5 inches or whatever. So I wrote that on there many years ago. So it's kind of my bicentennial knife, my bicentennial splurge that year. I remember quite well. And you notice there's not a lot of rust on it. even though I really have kept it in the sheath all this time. I had the old oil out here. What I do, I shine it up a little bit before the video, but I don't hesitate. I just take my knives every now and then and spray them down, you know, and then I just wipe them down before I put them away. And I make sure that I don't get, you know, any rust or anything like that, because this is not stainless steel, definitely. Jimmy Lyle would probably roll over in his grave if I said that was stainless steel. But a beautiful, beautiful piece that, you know, I'll always cherish and pass down to John. Just a neat knife to have. And if you have knives and you use them or you don't use them, you just collect them, whatever you do with them, you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of a guy thing, I guess, but just a well-made knife is a special thing. And I thought maybe you'd enjoy seeing this particular one, because it's I'm not going to cut anything with it or demonstrate how useful it is, or throw it at the log, you know, use it for a throwing knife, because it is my Jimmy Lyle knife. So thought maybe you'd enjoy seeing that today, and I'm glad you could come by and take a look at it. I didn't even cut myself, did I? Life is good.